I now introduce the other panelist, Kapil Sharma sir. He is the head of Industrial Design Department in MITID Avantika University, a gold medalist in MLIS Industrial Design. He brings over 17 years of experience across both academia and industry. His expertise lies in lifestyle, product design, sustainable material, and graphic design. He has collaborated with some of the world's top brands, including Google, Apple, BMW, Shell, Tata Mahindra, and L&T. His work has been recognized internationally and being featured in design magazines and blogs across the USA, Canada, Australia, and Netherlands. He's passionate about sustainability, upcycling, and innovation. He continues to push the boundaries of eco-friendly design and industrial solutions. Now I invite Professor Dhimal Panchal sir and Kapil Sharma sir to start this session and take the discussion forward.
Okay, so many thanks, Savannah, for your introductory talk, and I really appreciate introducing both of us. I'm thankful for Avantika University and MIT Institute of Design to invite me over to share my experiences today with young aspirants and want to be designers. So I welcome you all to this session, and I really pray to God that you are able to realize your dreams. So thank you, Sohana. And thank you, Kapil. It is so lovely to have you as a panelist and, knowing your views on what industrial design stands today as a, not only as just a design discipline, but also what is the kind of transformation it is going through right now. So I think, welcome you. So before I really start my talk, maybe a good idea, Kapil, for you to maybe share some of the examples which we can weave around as we proceed further in this talk, as to start, pinpointing few of the issues that designers will be, facing these challenges as they would probably be coming and becoming designers and so on and so forth. So over to you, Kapil.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Subhana, as well. So, just start with like at Avantika, we have industrial design program, and under which there are three major disciplines, specialization, I would say, under this umbrella, which comes like first one is the industrial design itself, and second is transportation design, and third one is the interior and furniture design. So here I would like to show you what kind of work we are doing at Avantika. I have a couple of shots from our juries and from our classroom discussions I have captured. Probably it will give you all a better insights. So the models which you are seeing on the table and the sketches which students have derived after number of iterations and explorations is the part of their simple design project, which is the starting point for a industrial designer or a product designer. So this is the course which we conduct at Avantika, which equips them to understand the needs of the user, the understanding of the empathy level of an individual, and where the root cause of problem is coming from, and how to solve this from different contexts. This is the one of the problem which you are observing. There is a medicine bottle. The problem was while opening the bottle, there is always lot of struggle because a person cannot open the lid because there is no specific tool comes in the market. So the idea started from the observation itself, that how we can solve this problem, because sometimes we are using the knife, sometimes we are using some sort of blade to cut these small elements which actually locks the lid of the medicine bottle. So this student has developed, as you can see in the photograph, a small hand device which actually clamps the bottle cap, and you rotate it and the job is done. So before arriving this solution, as you can see, a lot of sketches already have been explored in various directions. A lot of discussions has happened with the respective faculties. A lot of mock-ups were done. A lot of prototypes, were discussed together. And finally, we came on this conclusion. So it is, a long process through that they come up the final version of the idea. We always encourage students in industrial design to work on machines which actually help them to transform their ideas or manifest their concepts into reality. So the student is working on the lathe machine, as you can see, and dealing with a metal material to come up some sort of material exploration. These are the 3D printing facilities we have in our Avantika. As you can see on the left side, so these are the workshop benches on which students are working over here, and they are using the hand tools like different MDF materials, HIP, and on the right side you can see there is a vacuum forming machine. Then we have 3D fab lab as well. So whatever you think over here, you can transform it into 3D printing. So 3D printing lab we have. Similarly, we have milling machines, router cutting machines, laser cutting machines, which actually helping all the students to manifest their ideas into reality. This is another packaging design concept which our students came up specifically for popcorn. When you are going to any theater for watching movie, you always have this problem that it when you are sitting on the chair through some sort of shaking or some sort of shocks or moving your hands, the popcorns may come out. So this student has come up a product which actually completely packs the popcorn packaging, and you do not have any sort of fear while you are having popcorns during the theater. Similarly, this is another packaging design concept which has been done by one of the communication design student. As you can see, this is a paper cutter packaging, which is not only a packaging for paper cutter, but it is holding the paper cutter when you are placing it on the table. So, rather than packaging just a paper cutter in a box, the usage could be beyond that. So this is what a student has thought over here. So we always try to stretch their observations, stretch their ideas, going beyond their limitations, boundaries, and think out of the box so that they can come up with some new ideas, some innovative ideas. This bag is developed by me when I was doing my MDis, and the material is quite different. Though it looks like a leather, but it is not. It is a truck tire tube, and that truck tire tube is upcycled and transformed into a wonderful laptop case. The same bag has been designed for Google as well, for Apple as well, and the charm of the entire bag is the material and craftsmanship. I think, Devan sir, it is sufficient for giving the insights, because I have a lot of work, but it will, in a short time period, we will not be able to cover so many things, but it will give a good, picture and broader overview of the industrial design.
Yeah. So thank you so very much, Kapil. Now, you see, did you notice something interesting when Kapil just made the last remark? That there is a lot of work and it's very hard to curtail it to a certain limit. Now, just to pick a thread from there and continuing maybe my talk with you. So, we will mainly concentrate on various aspects of, designers' abilities, qualities, attributes and competencies in our talk today, this morning. Okay, so let us start with typically what are the requirement of skills and knowledge base to perform any act of design. So if I can pick some thread from what the work which Kapil just shared with you, he made some very, very interesting observation. And he said that all the work that was shown has gone through some sort of a sketches, some sort of a process of visualization, some sort of a process of ideation. And then he also made a comment about, usually it gets to the next level of visualization, which is model making. So from shifting from 2D to 3D. And then there was also another very interesting remark that he made, that designers observe things. Okay, so I'm just right now, picking few of the observations from Kapil's talk with you, and then maybe I'm going to elaborate in a while. One of the things that he also said that, identifying problems from your own environment. Yeah. Then he said discussion with faculty. All right. Then he also said that it's a long process of arriving at a solution. And then there was another remark that he shared with you, which is called a dialogue and reflection on concepts. So you take your concepts to the faculty gives you feedback. Maybe you also get a feedback from your colleagues. Yeah. Then prototyping. So from 2D to 3D. So let me now move on to my own, reflections on this. So that's the first part that we will talk about. In the second part of my talk with you, we will try and see how design is moving from just a design to technology and also maybe on businesses and particularly industrial design. And the third part that I would like to take, cover up with a few examples. I'll touch upon maybe at a cursory glance at how the very act of design is currently at a crossroads. Yeah. And it's not just true with US or North America, South America, Europe, but also India is also entering into that phase where typical skills of designers will be challenged by the new technology, which is seeping in very quickly. Say, artificial intelligence, just as a ready example. Okay, so I'll touch upon it a little bit. We are not going to go too much into the depth of it. So let us start with fundamental skills and abilities, which is required by designers today. And when I emphasize on the word designers today, because like many other things, like technology, lifestyle, living, infrastructures, everything is changing rather too rapidly. And so is also design changing very rapidly. There are really no single designer who would probably have the skills that I'm going to enumerate for you in a while, that we would probably have that kind of skill. So, we're not looking at designers as like someone demigod, a guy who can solve any problem. So let us start, with fundamental skills. Okay, so designers also work in groups. It is very, very difficult for any designer, no matter where he or she is practicing, to work in a total isolation. There are departments which are attached to large-scale industry, maybe thrust industries like automotive design, refrigeration industry, you have hospitality industry, you have biomedical product industry. Yeah. So a lot of these people have their own design departments, and there are a lot of designers who work out of design studios as well. So let me just, this is not in any order of importance. Okay. So don't get too confused about what I'm saying first and what I'll say last. It is by no means any hierarchical importance of design abilities that I want to touch upon. So the first ability that I would like to talk about today is the ability to create and develop new ideas and new paradigms. So when I say new ideas, which are particularly related to what users really need. So there are two levels of entry that you will have in design challenges. One is where you're bringing the user's needs, and the other one is probably the market needs. Market needs takes care of businesses. User needs takes care of the user's comfort. Okay. So, and also the aspirational dimensions of user. Like, for example, you must have noticed and studied uh, that a lot of car manufacturers are now shifting from traditional IC engine or fossil fuel to uh, electric, you know, e-vehicles. I mean, there's a huge amount of inflow of all kinds of vehicles. In fact, one of our product design students who's currently doing his graduation project bought himself an electric bicycle, which is also all geared. Okay, he paid 35,000 rupees for it, and he says, "I'm very happy with what I have actually bought." So these are the aspirational dimensions of user, which fits into designer's domain, and designers then begin to work. The second, ability to conceptualize and then visualize an idea. So this is in a way related to the first one, but little more specific. And that is, first you need to visualize the idea, which is for your own reference. So you sketch out something. Kapil just showed you a few very amazing drawings done by students at Avantika. Those drawings become a kind of a reflective little piece of work where you look at, you understand, and then you move to the next level of visualization. Yeah. So you are communicating with yourself first, then later with your colleagues, and maybe once you become a professional designers, you will communicate these ideas to the client. I hope you're keeping a track of these abilities. So you're not being taught drawing to make you into an artist, but it is also to trigger the artistic sensibilities in you to be able to externalize. So when you externalize, you are externalizing your own cognitive processes. Okay, so this is something that is so amazing about design and design per se, and particularly industrial design. The next one is ability to create and compose images in your mind. Now, you would wonder, where did these images come from? So if I say, imagine a Formula One car, so what you would do is, whatever the knowledge that you have, the number of Formula One cars that you've seen, remembered, internalized, they become a reference point to aid you into your ability to create something. Moving on to the next one, ability to think in 2D and 3D, depending on areas of specialized design challenges that you're working on. Now, this takes us back to what Kapil showed you, some examples from our own Makers Lab, that we have all kinds of 3D abilities, 3D printing, RPT, rapid prototyping techniques, CNC machines, CNC routers, basic workshops, be able to work on clay, wood, metal, so on and so forth. Now, this is also very, very important, and a lot of technology is coming in now to be able to help you visualize things in 2D, in form of sketches, maybe in form of diagrams and schematics, to moving on to 3D CAD modeling, and then eventually printing it in 3 dimension. Now, even a lot of other technology maybe subsequently will influence also the way designers really work, particularly in biomedical products. I mean, I'm also a part of our advisory council for Vellore Institute of Technology, and while I was taken through their campus, and I saw one very amazing little board which says human organ printing facilities. I said, what is going on? I mean, now you can even do 3D printing of human organ. Yeah, so please keep your eyes open and see how some of these triggers will actually influence the way you will become designers post 4 years from now, what would the world be? And believe me, it's not going to be same. So, keep an eye. Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next one. So one of the important quality of designer is to locate and also identify, look for an appropriate problem that can be solved using design as a knowledge base. There are certain problems that may not be addressed by designers. Maybe somebody like a policymaker needs to address that problem. Maybe in terms of government policies, they need to address this problem. So keep an eye on identify problems that are worth solving through design approaches and design processes. And I would emphasize on this because Kapil's own area of work has been in that particular domain, which is sustainability and design for the real world. Sometimes designers are able to find out a very wicked problem which runs across just about every aspect. So it goes through government policies, public policies, community policies, individual label policies, and so on and so forth. In fact, yesterday, just to add a little bit of little insight into this particular point, yesterday I was sitting with some of our graduation project students. One student, his family religion, he's a Jain. So for Jains, there is an amazing place which is a very beautiful, in a serene atmosphere, a place called Palitana in Gujarat. So he was saying that it's a way I've been there, and it's really extremely beautiful and very, very sacred place for Jains. So he said there is an interesting problem. There are some sets of temples which very few people go. And there is another set of temples when most people go. So he said, sir, can we solve this problem from systems perspective? Now, I hope you got the point about identifying a design problem or a problem that can be worthwhile to be designed using design processes. Okay. So that's something which is very, very interesting. So generally, all problems in society or the environment we live in may require actually a very collaborative approaches. So it's not just a designer alone who can solve it, but a set of other experts can solve it as a team and suggest a possible solution. So, this is an interesting point about being able to identify worth solving a problem as. Yeah. So the next one is ability to empathize, address emotions. Now, this becomes extremely critical when you're designing biomedical products. Okay. I can cite you an example of something which I did many, many years ago that was done in 1982. I did a blood oxygenator, which is used in open heart surgery. I mean, medically, when your heart doesn't work, you actually medically dead. So now how do I look at how to design that product, which also gives a certain assurance to the family members who are just maybe even watching this surgery being performed on their relative or their loved one, and gives them that assurance that I think whoever is part of my family, he'll be all right after the surgery is over. So ability to empathize with the user and maybe sets of other primary, secondary, and tertiary users. Designers should address emotions. I think this is something which is very, very peculiar to designers. Okay. And the third point that I want to emphasize on is liking towards research. I think today, or even in the past, not just today, has been a very integral part of design processes. You need to do a research on what do people really want, what do they aspire to have, what would they love to possess, desirability, and so on and so forth. The next point is designers often work with other domain experts. Like say, for example, when Kapil worked on that series of bags as part of his project, I think he also had to understand how does a truck tube, which is made from a certain kind of rubber, would age. After 4 years, what will happen to it? After 5 years, what will happen to it? Will it will it will it release a certain odor? So that's where he has to go and work with maybe a rubber technologist or a rubber chemical expert and so on and so forth. So we as designers should have an ability to work with other domain experts. One of the important quality of all-round designers, in my opinion, uh, is that you must be multidisciplined. What does that mean? Multidisciplined would mean that you should be interested in many other things which are directly or indirectly kind of influencing design. It could be history, it could be sociology, it could be how people behave in, say, a shopping mall, uh, human psychology, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So this is something very, very important as an ability. The next one is an ability to work on broad spectrum of knowledge uh, and ideas for arriving at a workable solution. Very often, designers will be working on a particular product which comes from a very different aspects of the market. I'll give you a very specific example. We worked on when I was guiding a couple of PG level students. So they were asked to design a watch, okay, which is which is put on somebody who is in jail, okay, and he's in parole. Parole, I hope you understand parole, where you may be a jailing mate, been sentenced to maybe say 5 years of jail, but after certain time you're allowed to go meet your family and then you come back. So this watch actually keeps a track of wherever you went, and it's all being recorded by the superintendent of the jail or the prison. Now you may wonder, but sir, you can always remove the strap. Maybe even if the strap is not removable, you can cut the watch and hide it somewhere. No, it is, everything will be monitored and be seen and recorded, and then they finally trace you. Now, this is a domain which most designers wouldn't probably even know of. So you need to then go and work with other domain experts. Yeah. So larger spectrum of knowledge always helps you to be able to deal with wider varieties of industrial design projects and industrial design challenges. Next one is, okay, I hope I'm keeping a track of time. Yeah. Ability to understand consumers, customers, users, and what do they really want. Correct? Now, very often, if you go and ask somebody, let's say, it's a ready example. I'm wearing a spectacle frame, so is Subhana wearing a spectacle frame. How would I know what Dimant and uh, Subhana is wearing? How do I relate that to a designer? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a very, very lengthy, extremely painful sometimes to understand what do users need, what do users want, what do they desire to own. Correct? So that's another ability that a designer must have. The next one is already kind of covered by Kapil's, few examples that he shared of the juries. Now, did you notice that for something that they worked on, they had many different solutions? So this is what I would call ability to come up with alternatives for the same design brief and being interpreted in many different ways, keeping the market in mind, keeping the user's behavior in mind, and so on and so forth. So you must have an ability to come up with possible alternatives. Typically, client or sponsors or whoever has given you that project will decide what the suitable, feasible, or makeable concept that is. So, while you are studying as an academic student, your guides, your sponsors, or somebody else would actually bounce off these things with you. Otherwise, in your professional career, it will be your client or your sponsor. The next one is ability to collate information and and have an ability to analyze the collected information. This is part of the research that we talked about a while ago. The next one is a really an interesting one. Ability to observe and have a good sense of curiosity. I mean, trust me, half the battle is won as young designers or a designer the moment you become curious. I think curiosity feeds a lot of questions. And when you have a lot of questions, you create a situation where you'll find the answers. This is a very interesting loop, trust me. And this doesn't only apply to designers, it also applies to science. It also applies to fundamental sciences. I mean, look at how curious somebody was. I know who you would know already. When he saw the apple fall, he was curious as to why did it fall down. I mean, that's the sense of curiosity which I think designers should have. Okay, so sense of curiosity and wonderment. You must wander around. I mean, everything should trigger a sense of wonderment to you. All right. So that's another very interesting ability that you must have. The next one is ability to connect seemingly things which are unconnected. I mean, say for example, what has clouds got to do with the fruits that we eat? I mean, seemingly unconnected, right? You may say, no, there's no really, honestly, a primary connection, but it could be some secondary connection. But no, I think you should be able to even envisage a connection between things which are completely unconnected. Yeah, like very often designers say, have an ability to do connect the dots kind of a thing. All right. The next one is very, very peculiar to designers, and that is ability to draw, design ideas, design sketches, be very, very flamboyant with your sketches. Whatever that's there in your mind, you'll be able to put it on paper. I know there is a little debate which is going on amongst the academics these days that do we really need to know how to draw? I mean, computers can do that job a little more quickly these days. I would probably opine saying that both are equally needed and both are equally important. I mean, every time you can't be opening your laptop and have a flat surface to put your mouse on and start. I think pencil and paper is the quickest sometimes, maybe even more. It gives you more freedom to do things, at least at an initial level. Okay. So representing what you have in mind and be able to externalize it. The other one is now become extremely important in current scenario in design, and that is your ability to understand national trends and international trends. You can't be living in some sort of a silo. You can't be living in some sort of a cocoon saying, no, I mean, I have a good skills. I can draw well. I can do amazing CAD renders. I'm a great skilled designer. No, it doesn't work today. You need to keep an eye on what is happening around the world. What is the trend? What is becoming more popular? Something which was popular maybe just 3 years ago, 4 years ago is gone out of fashion, out of trend. What are these things? So keep an eye on that. The other one is your ability to communicate, both through words and through images. Without that, no matter how great the mind is, you will fall short in terms of realizing your ideas. The next one, and I think Avantika University's curriculum is very well designed to integrate this ability, and that is ability to work with diverse problems. When I say diverse problems, I'm saying problems are not necessarily only designing Me Too products or market-driven products. The products that you design which doesn't even exist today. By amalgamating your observation, your curiosity, and all of that put together. So we may need to work for markets, all right, but then socially relevant problems also are problems that we need to address. And I think that's also something which Kapil has a great liking towards. In fact, I have created a course at MIT ID in Pune, which is called Design for Social and Spatial Needs. So this takes you into that idea of working with diverse kinds of problems. All right, then next one is maybe a little more strategic in its content, and that is the ability to recognize opportunities that are lying around, or larger opportunities which are lying around within the same given problem statement. I remember there was one student who was working on the walker, people who have a temporary injuries. It was part of one of my course. So in the due discussion, we said, what else can the walker do? I mean, a walker is a walker that aids you to walk, maybe balance yourself so that you don't fall, you don't injure yourself and aggravate your already existing injury. So this is how we were able to take the problem from its existing challenges and we opened it out to many other things that we rolled it in. The other one, oh my God, this is also a very important one as designers, and that is ability to work with ambiguity. Now you will wonder, but sir, ये कहाँ से ambiguity कहाँ से आ गया? ये designer तो design करता है, ये ambiguity कहाँ से आ गया? Now, there is an interesting thing. Very often, people won't tell you exactly what they need. People will give you an ambiguous clues that I need something like this, I need something like that. It is never exactly what you can build your ideas upon. So you have to have an ability to decode that ambiguity and bring about a certain clarity. Yes. So yes, I'm just trying to figure out if I've not forgotten anything. Ability to comprehend complex layers of problem, identify the layer that you wish to address to. Now, let me give you an analogy here. Any problem that you observe, identify, which is what designing through design approach, it's not a single problem. Problem is never singular. I mean, even generally in life, problems will have layers. It has many dimensions in it. So you keep slicing the problem. Yeah. You keep defining the problem. And as many definitions of that problem comes, you say, okay, now this is a slice that I would like to address. And then maybe turn this into a proposition that eventually I would like to take and design some product, some industrial design product, some tangible product, and so on. Then the next one is, which is slightly away from the mainstream abilities of industrial designers, ability to understand businesses. Now, in today's context, this has become even more relevant. I'm sure you've been hearing this buzzword around, and which has really become an important component of improving our own country's economy, is the startups. I mean, Shark Tank is another brilliant example of how that whole economy of encouraging people to become entrepreneurs and have a business startup. Just as a design consulting thing, you can even have your own businesses happening. Avantika is equally, equipped to actually make you and encourage you, do hand holding if the need be, to make you into a successful entrepreneur or a startup owner. Okay, so now let me just retract back a little bit. We talked about designers' abilities. We talked about how technology influences designers today. So these are two very important pillars of design activity today. And the third one that we are introducing now, which is called business. So these are three pillars of doing something successfully using design skills and design abilities. So design, technology, and business. Now that governs the success or the failure of the new product that you will design or redesigning an old product. These three things must go hand in glove. They are inseparable things in today's context. One cannot keep investing large sums of money in developing or creating a new technology, or and expect major businesses to happen. Technology needs to reach to people. I mean, say just as an idea, say I've come up with an amazing material, put in a lot of investment into it. Yeah. But where will I use that material? For what will I use that material for? Am I making the user's life little comfortable? The material will last longer than the existing material. Is it more durable? Is it more sustainable? It has negative effects on environment. Now that is where the technology alone can't be solved. You need design approach to ensure that it reaches to the consumer or the user. Yeah. Then this has something to do with recovering your investments that you put in. Unless that loop happens, it is not sustainable. So just to cite an example from maybe some other world, maybe textile. There are several mills that began to experiment and do a research on some textile materials that are more sustainable than the others. So it's easy to break them down into little fibers and filament, and then it could be actually even repurposed. So you not just say, for example, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, yeah, maybe kuch ched ho gaye idhar udhar, so I would probably discard it. But then what happens to that t-shirt? As it is, I can use the t-shirt as a mop in my house. I can cut the sleeve if in case the long sleeve has some holes, and wear it without the sleeve maybe in summer. But I'm just prolonging its use. The other way is actually to disintegrate the entire thing, get back to the fiber, make a thread again, and then do something with it. Yeah. So there are many successful stories about repurposing textiles, fusing it with something else, where people have actually made rugs and curtains and many other things. It's when maybe today we don't have time to do all that, but we can certainly look into this later. So that, in a way, takes care of my overall talk with you. I'm sure as we proceeded with our talk, I'm sure you have questions, maybe something that you would like to share your opinion on, maybe even challenge what we have been saying, which I would love to have that kind of a debate and a discussion, and maybe even trigger some insights from it. So, young aspirant designers, it was lovely speaking with you. Don't ever forget that no matter at what age you are, all right, no matter how experienced you become, I am still a student of design. Trust me, and let me be very clear about this. I behave sometimes like a student and think like a student, and also act like a student. So this is the nicest part of the world that you are about to come into. That, every job that you do, every project that you will work with, whether it's an academic project or it's a professional project, you will learn something that you have not done before. I mean, maybe just one couple of case studies to share with you, and then we'll conclude. You remember I talked about that blood oxygenator which is used in open heart surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the client came from Trivandrum, there is a very amazing medical research institute called Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute of Medical Sciences and Technology. So Dr. Valyathan, who was an open art expert and biomedical engineer, so he came, he explained the product. He took the entire day to to explain what the product does. I mean, it's bloody complicated. So I was a young designer then, in 1982, as I said. So I said, look, I mean, I would love to work on this. I find it an amazing challenge, but I don't know nothing about human blood. So, guys, I actually went and attended evening classes in one pharmacy college in Ahmedabad called LM College of Pharmacy. The director, Dr. What was his name? Dr. Goyal and Dr. Rajendra Bhatt were kind enough to teach me in the evening. I used to finish being a faculty at NID at about 5:30. By 6, I would take my scooter and go to LM College of Pharmacy and attend evening classes. For 3 months, I actually learned everything about human blood. I was a student. And so is this case with even there's some work that we are doing with Department of Atomic Energy right now. Same story. We're still reading so many things and learning. So that process will go on and on and on forever. Thank you, young aspirants. Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you, Kapil, and thank you, Suhana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kapil sir, for an insightful and enriching discussion. The knowledge shared on the topic will undoubtedly inspire and guide a student as they continue their skills and pursue career in industrial design. So we have some questions from the student.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Just read them on their behalf.
So Deshna Kothari is asking, what is the scope of product designing in upcoming years and what one can expect packages in initial years?
Okay.
Should I answer, sir?
Please go ahead. I think you probably should take the lead.
Yeah. So I have a beautiful answer for this, and I think Devan sir only induced my thinking after this talk, and this idea came into my mind. So what I could understand that what package you will be getting after completing your product design or industrial design. So the answer is, as a designer, what package you create in your mind, the same reflection you will be getting outside. So package means what level of ideas, what level of skill set, what level of thinking, whatever things, the elements of design Devan sir has shown you during his talk. I think everything creates a package in your brain, and that is the reflection outside in the world, the same package you receive. Am I right, sir?
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Very nice. It's exactly that. The reason I was probably not able to answer that immediately, it's in direct proportions to what is it that you're able to bring on table when you work with industry.
True.
What is it that, say, I'll give you a very simple example. Let us assume that you get 12 lakhs as a package. Okay. But the company will not be able to pay you 12 lakh package per annum unless you're able to earn with your skills as designers, as your thinking as designers, to be able to earn 24 lakhs. I mean, whatever you're able to make the company earn, you'll get 50% of it, maybe sometimes 40% of it. And if the company is little liberal, they give you 70% of it. It's a direct proportions to that. There are a lot of students who get disheartened, particularly when they are, sitting in the interview, saying, sir, Falani company is a nice company, but they're not offering much. Now, when you say not offering much, what do you mean? I mean, that industry has valued design, and through design, they are able to do certain kinds of businesses for which they get the returns in. And those returns get divided into multiples of other things, including a salary to designers. So I wouldn't be able to pinpoint a figure. Very often it ranges from maybe, 10 lakhs, 7, 8 lakhs to maybe even 25 lakhs. Again, all again depends on what industry you're joining and also what is the level of experiences that you have. But just one small piece of sharing. I don't like being called advice. I think don't overrate yourself. Be kind. Start with whatever that comes on your way. Build your experiences. Build your portfolio. Yeah. If you're not getting, say, a salary or a package which is according to your expectation, but maybe just 1 year down the line, maybe 2 years down the line, you'll get much more than what you even imagined it for. So take it in your stride. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question, sir. What is difference between industrial design and product design?
Oh, industrial design and product design is like hand in glove. Industrial design is like an overall umbrella, where Kapil actually talked about this. So it also includes transportation, furniture, interiors, maybe even textiles is actually also part of industrial design. In Avantika, we only concentrate on 3 as of now. Maybe in future we will have some more. So, which is not really very different. It is not actually different. It's the same thing.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question. What is scope of product designing?
What is the?
Scope of product designing.
The voice is slightly not clear to me. Well, let me just increase my volume. Yeah, repeat that, please.
So, scope of product designing.
Not able to understand, Subhana. Even.
Yeah.
Okay. So, career options students can have after pursuing this
Options as
as an industrial design.
meaning subsequent options in the career.
Yes.
Okay. Many. I can talk from my own perspective, and maybe Kapil can give you certain perspective. See, I graduated as a product designer from NID in 1980. So from 1981 till date, I've worked on varieties of design challenges. That includes designing an exhibition, that includes doing catalogs for the products that I've designed. I've also designed biomedical products, lifestyle products, trophies and mementos and what have you. I've also designed a policy for a company which I did a lot of design intervention. I worked with a diamond polishing company. I designed some diamond polishing technologies for them as well. I designed machines. So it's not just that you will only design consumer products or consumer durables or white goods. It is entirely one of the ability that I talked about is ability to work in diverse fields. It is actually that. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Kapil, would you like to add something, please?
Yeah, I think our thinking is quite similar. Even I did my graduation from SID, Symbiosis Institute of Design, and after that, I had never thought that I would be working as a automotive designer or automotive stylist, doing interiors of cars. And then after, I never thought that I would be involved as a toy designer or as a lifestyle designer or working for industrial machines for marble processing equipments. So whenever things are coming from the industry and our mindset toward, automatically the design training itself is so powerful. It equips you, it prepares you for the future needs and the requirements. And the processes actually are such kind of power that it builds it designs processes within your brain, that if the problem is like that, then how you are going to solve it. So that is the beauty of the design, I would say. So that's it from my side.
Yeah. See, when you say option, it's also a curious word. It is not option. What else can I do with the skills that I've learned and absorbed and internalized?
Yeah.
I think that's the answer. So it could be many things that Kapil just said, which is transportation. Okay, I'll give you a very specific example. There is one girl who graduated from our institute, I think second or the third batch, 2008, 2009 batch. After her graduation, she joined Tata Motors. Now you'll be surprised that she actually does work of a CMF person for cars. And I also know somebody I taught in NIFT initially. After his graduation, he joined Tata Johnson Control and he's actually designing the seats for very high-end cars. When I say seats, it's the upholstery of the seat that this particular person is designing. So, yeah, surrender yourself to the challenges that you will be facing. And I think, as I keep saying, the God will show you the way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So another very common question nowadays: will AI replace product designer in future?
We are always scared of technology, by the way. We are a very funny bunch of people. We create something, feel extremely happy, and then feel challenged with it. And this is not just AI today. I remember
Tomorrow, maybe the PI or CI or DI would be coming. And we will be having another level of challenge.
I mean, you see, this is a debate that we are also having with our students and at MITID in Pune. The answer is it will always remain as an aid. It probably may, I don't know, it may even replace you as a original thinker. But that will take some time. Yeah. So don't worry too much about it. You probably would have a lovely career before that happens.
Okay, sir. Another question. What are the factors which a master student need to keep in mind if he or she has non-design background in music?
Okay, the most important thing, according to me, if you're an engineer or an architect and aspiring to do post graduation in industrial design, be open, absorb new things that is coming by. Okay. The third one is be curious. The curiosity to me can solve 50% of the problem. Be curious about sorry, what is happening around the product world. Keep your eyes open. When you walk into a shopping mall, look what's happening in product design. What kind of product design services, product design solutions which are currently being absorbed by people readily. What is popular? What is trendy? Maybe even if you walk into a toy shop, look around and be curious and see how people have designed this. I think we have a technical background. I think both of us have a technical background. I can understand what that question is coming from. The only way we survived as young designers is because we were absorbing everything that was being seen, observed, and perceived. ये कैसे हो रहा है, वो कैसे हो रहा है. Yeah. So, in fact, find opportunities where you can utilize your bachelor's knowledge. So, if you're a mechanical engineer, if you want to aspire to be an industrial designer, so how do I create opportunities where I actually also be proudly employing my engineering skills? I hope that answers. Maybe Kapil could add.
I think you have rightly said that one should have inquisitiveness, curiosity within ourselves. I think that is the master key to open all the observations and ideas. Another thing based on my experience is being a designer, I always practice getting new experiences or exposing myself into new environments, going to different places, touching the grounds, touching the new products, understanding the new technologies. Though I'm not going to purchase that product, but still, if you explore it, then huge amount of learning, you are gaining out of that experience. And second thing, I am fond of buying different types of hand tools, power tools. I know that I'm not going to use for next 5 years, but still it has become a DNA, or it has gone into my blood that whenever a new power tool is coming, I just go and try to empty my pocket. Though I might not be having money, I will borrow money from other people and buy it. So n number of power tools I have with me, and you won't believe that just buying the power tools and filling my library with that has elevated my perception towards the industrial design and product design. I think that no book can gain that experience what you gain with actual real world or real life scenario. Am I right, Divan sir?
Absolutely. I don't know whether we've talked about this, but I sail in the same boat as you. Because in fact, I actually designed several hand tools with a company called Solson's Exim, which is based out of Ahmedabad, for which we've got a patents on, international patents on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a deep interest in tools, hand tools, power tools, anything that you can exercise your dexterity. So yes, no conflict there. I think this. So if I expand on that, I think as good product design mind or a industrial design mind, you need to have something which you don't want to compromise on.
Compromise.
I mean, somewhere you need to listen to your heart.
True.
Yeah, head is important to hear, but I think sometimes you also need to hear your heart and do things which are you are very passionate about.
True.
We had one student; he's already graduated and doing some amazing work. He was such an incredible craftsman. वो छोटी-छोटी चीज़ें बहुत I mean, I can't even tell you the quality at which he would actually make these tiny little things, miniature stuff. And very often he was not bothered about ये इसका क्या होगा, मैं क्या करूँगा. अरे he had made a mosquito slightly bigger than the existing mosquito in impeccable proportions, and it was all handmade. And that's the passion. Like Kapil said, the passion that he has for being curious and inquisitive about tools.
Yeah, and knowing about the features, how does it function, why this form is like that, how to grip this. There are a lot of things you actually come across when you touch them, when you experience them. So I think that experience no book can give you.
All right. So if you allow me, I want to give you an example of a book which I read. It was about a guy who was a motivational speaker. Okay. Motivational speakers, they talk nice things and, and they don't do anything. They just.
Are you ready?
Yes.
They start with their conversation. Are you ready now?
Oh, yes. So he was a very famous motivational speaker in United States.
Yeah.
Okay. One day, apparently in a self-dialogue, I have a book. I have it somewhere, but I'll have to look for it. So I have forgotten the author. He was frustrated by the time he reached the age of being 48 to 50. And he said, all my life I only talked. I didn't do anything substantial. And that was a shock to him. So guess people, what he did was to open a garage to repair motorcycles. And he said, within just few years, he was able to find the purpose of his life. Motivational speaker finding his purpose after opening a motorcycle repair shop.
True.
I mean, this is what it is where we say, talk about passion
Yes.
and that idea of dexterity, be able to put your mind into doing something which is so amazing. I don't know whether that sounds like a relatable example.
Yes, absolutely. That probably he might have more value, or he might be enjoying that work so closely and
Yeah.
giving him a lot of feedback, experiential feedback.
So he narrates an interesting incident. So when he opened the garage and the first guy to came in, he came in with his Harley Davidson. For some reason, it was kind of making some knocking noise. So he said he just walked in, you know, uh, he and his colleagues repaired the whole thing. He was made to sit and have a cup of coffee. It took about 3 to 4 hours to put his bike together. And in the book, he says that I still remember and cherish the expression that he had it on his face when he drove away from our service station. He kind of looked around and waved and said, "Bye, thank you very much." He says, "It is etched in my mind forever." I think that is what industrial design is about. It's about objects. It's about things that work, and it's about things that you need to make it work.
Work, really.
Yeah.
And in the same regard, the Chris Bengal say a very nice statement that image is nothing. It is just a beautiful art piece. But you have to go beyond the image actually. How do you, convert it in the
Yeah. Okay. Any other
Sir,
question?
uh,
Sohana?
Sir, actually, we have many questions related to the Avantika University only. So I just request all the students to ask with their respective counselor. They'll be able to guide you more properly regarding the university. And sir, another question we have, what kind of mindset should a designer have when under pressure of time and other such constraints?
Can you just flash the question?
What kind of mindset should a designer have when under pressure of time and other such constraints?
Okay. See, we talked about a lot of abilities. So if you put all these abilities together, that is the mind that you require.
Yes.
It's not some magical thing. It is not. It's a culmination of all of these things that we've been discussing since 1.5 hours. Yeah. So that's the mindset. I mean, I really don't want to be, talking too much about myself, but I mean, I say, for example, when you say mindset, the mindset to observe. Yeah. Now, what do you observe? आप शॉपिंग मॉल में जाते हो तो शॉपिंग मॉल में जाते हो, दुकानें देखते हो, चीजें जो बिक्री हो रही है वो देखते हो, आजू बाजू के घूमते हुए लोगों को देखते हो, और क्या देखते हो आप? But the moment I say see it from a designer's perspective, then things change completely. I would say observe from opportunity perspective, things change. Observe from just a second, there's something that's wrong. Okay. If I say look at in terms of lighting in the shopping mall, the perspective changes. I think there is no formula or a pill that we can suggest you, yeah, about what kind of mindset do I have. I think this all put together is the real mindset that you need to develop. Of course, there are assignments, there are courses that will help you formulate these mindsets, that will make you more aware, go deeper into it, be able to kind of digest it subsequently, and be able to use it when the right opportune moment comes. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. And as we are running short of time, this last question I'm having. In industrial design, what differentiation MDes will have over MTech in engineering?
Please repeat that question.
In,
Speak little slowly.
yes, sir. In industrial design, what differentiation MDes will have over MTech?
Oh, MDes and BDes.
Yes.
MDes and MTech, sir.
MTech.
MDes are we are not talking about MTech here. I mean, this is like we're not even inferring MTech here. So there is no question of difference. It's the same difference between, say, maybe uh, fine art graduate and design graduate. You see, each discipline requires a certain, to begin with, a certain liking towards that. Okay. Like, for example, from my school where I studied till my 11th standard, my primary and secondary schools, I'm in touch with a lot of my classmates. There are some who have become a Supreme Court judge. There are some who are lawyers. There are some who become businessmen. Now, and there was one guy, I mean, I was so impressed with his abilities. He became an MD, a very, very famous MD of Ahmedabad. Uh, he never scored anything less than 100 in any subject. Now, I wasn't that fortunate. But once I met him, he actually said something which is I'll never forget. And he said, "You're able to do things which are so different every day, but for me, it's the same human body." So there is no comparison, believe me. I mean, so Kapil, unless you want to answer this question.
I think MDes and MTech, there is a clear, differentiation I can say based on my experience. It is MTech is more towards the technological things, and MDes is more discovering yourself or discovering the world. So these are the two things which I can observe. So one is inclined more towards the technology, though in MDes also we have to know the different technology and we have to adopt the technology as well to manifest our ideas. But it is more about the discovery. It is more about the digging things around the environment in different context and understanding the world more closely within more empathy, right?
Yeah, that answers it pretty much. Yeah. Okay. So with that, maybe that probably was the last question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, as we wrap up, a huge thank you to our esteemed panelists, Professor Dhimal Panchal sir and Kapil Sharma sir, for sharing their expertise and insights. We greatly appreciate the time and efforts you dedicated to sharing your experience with us, sir. And also a big thanks to all our audience for your engagement and participation. Stay connected with MIT ID Indore Avantika University for more such enriching discussions. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great day all.
Yeah. Thank you. And I just at the conclusion, I would also like to thank Avantika University and all the concerned people there, including our Vice Chancellor, Nitin sir, for inviting me over here and share my views and my opinions on industrial design. Having said that, if in case there is anybody out there in the group here right now, if you have any specific question that you want me to look into and answer, please free to be in touch with Sohana. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. And goodbye from our side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Subhana.
Thank you, sir.